The Art Lesson. The Art Lesson, written and illustrated by Tomie dePaola. Tomie knew he wanted to be an artist. When he grew up, he'd draw pictures everywhere he went. It was his favorite thing to do. His friend had favorite things to do. Jack collected all kinds of turtles. Herbie made huge scenes in a sandbox. Jenny's, Tommy's best friend, could do cartwheels and stand on her head. But Tomie draw and draw and draw. His twin cousins, who were already grown up, were in art school learning to be real artists. They told him not to copy and to practice, practice, practice. So he did. Tomie put his pictures up on the wall of his half of the bedroom. His mom put them all up around the house. His dad took them to the barber shop where he worked. Tom and Nana, Tommie's Irish grandfather and grandmother, had his pictures in their grocery store. Nana Fall River, his Italian grandmother, put one in a special frame on the table next to the photograph of Aunt Chloe in her wedding dress. Once Tomie took a flashlight and a pencil under the covers and drew pictures on his sheets. But when his mother changed the sheets on Monday and found them, she said, "No more drawing on the sheets, Tomie." His mom and dad were having a new house built, so Tomie drew pictures of what it would look like when it was finished. When the walls were up, one of the carpenters gave Tomie a piece of bright blue chalk. Tomie took the chalk and drew beautiful pictures all over the unfinished walls. But when the painters came, his dad said, "That's it, Tomie, no more drawing on the walls." Tomie couldn't wait to go to kindergarten. His brother Joe told him there was a real art teacher who came to the school to give art lessons. "When do we have our lessons?" Tomie asked the kindergarten teacher. "Oh, you won't have your art lesson until next year," said Mrs. Bird, "but we are going to paint pictures tomorrow." It wasn't much fun. The paint was awful and the paper got all wrinkly. Mrs. Bird made the paint by pouring different colors powders into different jars and mixed them with water. The paint didn't stick to the paper very well and it crackled. If it was windy when Tomie carried his pictures home, the paint blew right off the paper. "At least you get more than one piece of paper in the kindergarten," his brother Joe said. "When the art teacher comes, you'll only get one piece." Tomie knew that the art teacher came to the school every other Wednesday. She could tell she wasn't an artist because she wore a blue smock over her dress and she always carried a big box of thick colored chalks. Once, Tomie and Jenny looked at the drawing that was hung up in the hallway. They were done by the first graders. "Your pictures are much better," Jenny told Tomie. "Next year, when we have real art lessons, you'll be the best one." Tomie could hardly wait. He practiced all summer. Then on his birthday, which was right after school began, his mom and dad gave him a box of 64 Crayola crayons. Regular box of crayons had red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, brown, and black. This box had so many other colors: blue, violet, turquoise, red, orange, pink, and even gold, silver, and copper. Class, said Mrs. Landers, the first grade teacher. Next month the art teacher will come to our room. So on Monday, instead of singing, we will practice using our crayons. On Monday, Tomie brought his 64 crayons to school. Mrs. Landers was not pleased. Everyone must use the same crayons, she said. School crayons. School crayons had only same old 8 colors. As Mrs. Landers passed them out to the class, she said, "These crayons are school property, so do not break them, peel off the paper, or wear down the points." "How am I supposed to practice being an artist with school crayons?" Tomie asked Jake, and Harpy. "That's enough, Tomie," Mrs. Lander said, "and I want you to take those birthday crayons home with you and leave them there." And Joe's right. They only got one piece of paper. Finally, the day of our art lesson came. Tomie could hardly sleep that night. The next morning, he hid the box of 64 crayons under his sweater and went off to school. He was ready. The classroom door opened and in walked the art teacher. Mrs. Lander said, "Class, this is Mr. Bowers, the art teacher. Pretty, who is our paper monitor this week, will give out one piece of paper to each of you, and remember, don't ruin it because it is the only piece you will get. Now pay attention to Mrs. Bowers." "Class," Mrs. Bowers began, "because Thanksgiving is not too far away, we will learn to draw a pilgrim man, a pilgrim woman, and a turkey. Watch carefully and copy me." Copy? Tomie knew that real artists didn't copy. This was terrible. This was supposed